What's up, everybody? My name is Parasite, and welcome back to Reimagining Manchester United. Today we have Man City Dortmund double again. So we are playing the same teams we played last episode, obviously. Different competition this time for Man City. Playing Man City in the EFL Cup final. So a huge game. That's going to be our first game of the episode. Then we've got the second leg of the first knockout round of the Champions League versus Dortmund. We are currently 9 points clear of Liverpool with the game in hand. We've still not been great recently. First game since the last episode, we drew 0-0 with Everton. Strikers just didn't. We just weren't very good at all. It wasn't necessarily the strikers were being awful. It's just as a team we weren't that good. We just were barely better than them. Yeah, they had more XG. We had more shots on target. We just didn't create the best chances, and we didn't put away the hard ones we had. But 0-0 against Everton is not a bad result. They're fifth in the league. They've gone on a ridiculous run recently. This run here is very good. 2 draws. The rest of them are wins, including 6-2, 4-0, 4-0, 5-0 over Man City. So when you see 5-0 over Man City and then we drew 0-0, that's a good result for us. So I'm semi-happy with that result. It sucks to drop points, but they were in good form, so I'll take it. As long as it's not a loss, I'll take it. We then played Brighton, and we did play really well, but our strikers were absolutely awful. Martial has turned into the worst striker I've ever seen. He is so bad. He was so good in our first season, 23 and 30. Then he slightly went off a little bit, 10 and 23. This season, he's absolutely horrific, 1 and 9. He is so bad. I don't know what's happened to him, but he's forgotten how to play the sport. He still looks really good. Those attributes are pretty dang good. He just does not play to them at all. So I gave him a chance against Brighton. I don't know how many more chances I'm going to give him because I've got 4 other strikers that are all playing better than him. So I don't know how many chances he's going to get. He's definitely not starting this game against Man City. Whoops, I don't want to submit. I want to show you the squad. This is the squad we got against Man City. Harry Maguire comes back in because Tuanzebe has been absolutely horrific last match. So I'm going to give Maguire the chance. McTominay's actually played decently, so if Maguire struggles, McTominay will come off the bench for him. I'm starting Wan-Bissaka this game because he's actually in really good form. He's just getting back from injury, but he's played well every single time we've given him a chance. And Dodo has really dropped off the last couple of games. So I'm going to give Wan-Bissaka the chance at right back, and it kind of works because he's a little bit more defensive, and we want to be a little bit more defensive as a team. Kimmich is going to start, even though he's a little bit injured. Said he can be back in 2 days, but he doesn't even require a fitness test, so Camavinga's a little bit tired too. Plus, Kimmich just came to me and said I wasn't giving him enough first-team football. Started crying, acting like a little girl, so I decided, okay, I'll give you a little bit of first-team football. Actually, first I told him, you've not been good enough to be getting first-team football, which is the truth. And then he cried about that, so I told him, okay, I'll give you some first-team football, just do something. And so we'll see if he steps up. I'm not optimistic, but if I can get 85, 90 million for him, I think I'll sell him. Look for somebody different. Camavinga can be the full-time starter, even though he's been absolutely awful recently. I just think that position just doesn't do well. I don't know why, but the deep line playmaker just never gets good ratings. Well, rarely ever gets good ratings. Like I said, the last save I had with Kimmich, he got good ratings as his deep line playmaker, but it's just not happening this series, so Teo Hernandez at left back. Fernandes and Pogba back in midfield together, so I'm glad to see them together again. Both in pretty good form. Bruno Fernandes is just amazing. Rashford is going to be given the nod at striker alongside Erling Haaland. Neither of them are in that good of form, really. Rashford had 2 pretty bad games in a row. Haaland with basically only 1 really good game in his last 5. He's been decent for the other 4. 6.9, 6.9, or 6.9, 7.1, 7.4, 7.4, so a couple of decent games. Then he put in a 6.5, and that is not good enough. So hoping not seeing that today. Greenwood on the bench. Hannibal is back and on the bench. Tellez, Dodo on the bench, McTominay on the bench. So we've got options if players aren't performing, but let's get right into the game. Is it Wembley, I believe, because it isn't a cup final, so it's cool to see us at Wembley again. Chance for back-to-back EFL Cup championships. They've got Pedro Porro, I'm guessing, at right back. I've never heard of him. They have so many right backs I've never heard of. Alaba starts at left back. He was injured last game, but he's back. They've changed formation. They've gone to a 4-2-3-1 with Nabil Fekir at attacking mid. Is that Harry Kane on the wing? I think that is Harry Kane on the wing. So that's a thing. I'm going to say, pump my fist and say, this is a special day for the supporters. Go out there and make them happy. Pump my fist. I have faith. I have faith. Well, Ryan, the big game is finally upon us. Can you win the EFL Cup here today? We've managed to give ourselves a great platform on which to perform today, and I hope the players do themselves justice because they've been magnificent all season. Are you perhaps feeling the pressure in this build-up to this fixture, considering your fans will almost certainly be demanding a win? I'm happy to work under pressure. It's an immediate reminder of what's at stake. We're in pretty good form. 1 draw in our last 5, but we haven't lost. I said 60 last time. It's much less than 60. It's like 45. So I was a little optimistic there. Man City are in pretty bad form, and it is Harry Kane on the wing. Man City have lost 3 of their last 5 matches with only 2 wins. So that's not great. So hopefully we can take advantage of that, especially after they got beat 5-0 by Everton. Surely if Everton can beat them 5-0, we can do a pretty good job here today in a neutral fixture. Rashford with the ball. Backheel to Pogba, but he gets tackled. A good tackle by, I think, Fekir, of all players. Wan-Bissaka is able to keep that on. Puts it into Bruno. Bruno back to Wan-Bissaka. Looking for a cross. He gets it to Rashford at near post. Back to Wan-Bissaka. Getting doubled up on, but he finds the ball to Bruno, and Bruno smashes it into the back of the net. Bruno Fernandes with his 5th goal of the season. Not quite as much as I had hoped. He's not really been a great goal scorer this season. He's been a good assister, but he's not been the main goal scorer that I've expected to see, because he was really good like the first 2 seasons as a goal scorer. But he hasn't really been that this season, but he's still given good performances, and that's what matters. And he finds the back of the net in the first 10 minutes of the game. So a great way to start. Wan-Bissaka, again, getting involved. He's already got a yellow, but he's already getting involved in the attacking play. For a guy that doesn't have very good attacking stats, he does a lot of attacking. I don't know why, but he seems to do well there, so I'm going to keep going with him. Until he gives me a reason not to start him, I'm going to keep starting him. As Haaland is through on goal. And of course Haaland scores, because Haaland would always score when he's through on goal. He might miss some more difficult chances when he's kind of, less clear-cut chances. But if he gets a clear-cut chance like that, he will score at about 85-90% of the time. And he finds the back of the net here. Just leathered the ball into the back of the net. Put his foot through it. Didn't give the keeper a single chance. And we are 2-0 up from 2 shots. So, FMing them a little? I mean, yeah. We're being really clinical, which is something we've not been all season. So it's good to see. As Harry Kane gets injured, he's only been on a 6.3. He's been their worst performer, so I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing. Harry Kane on the wing, I think I'll take that. I don't know, they obviously just shouldn't be using this formation because as they score. But as I was saying, they shouldn't be using this formation when you've got 2 elite strikers like Martinez and Kane that you want on the field at the same time. You kind of have to play 2 strikers. Playing Harry Kane on the wing is just kind of kneecapping him as a long goal kick gets headed on by Lozano of all people to Fekir, who puts it in the back of the net. They get one back with their 2nd shot of the game. Not good enough. Got to do better. Got to win those headers. Can't let Irving Lozano beat you to a header and knock the ball onto a guy running through on goal. You just can't allow that. Fekir's through on goal again, who got defenders in the way, but finds De Gea. Well, he hits it right at De Gea from an impossible angle. So we have a corner that's just non-stop action. And it goes just over. This has been a very active first half. Man City only have 3 shots. We have 10. 10 shots in the first half against Man City is pretty good. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing we did last game against them, but we just didn't score the goals. We weren't clinical. We've been clinical, but we've still not been putting a lot of our shots on target. Only 4 out of 10. That's not good enough. I want to see at least 50%. Obviously, it's not far from 50%, but that's not 50%. That's 40%. So I'm going to say I'm not happy. I want you to put 50% or greater, preferably greater. Alba's a little bit tired and not on having his best performance. Kimmich is having a stinker, even though he promised me he was going to play well. He's obviously a lying piece of crap. As Rashford scores a goal, I think Bruno should get the assist for that. I mean, he had the shot on target that bounced off Ederson. I would give him the assist, but they're not giving him the assist here. The free kick, Ederson doesn't hold it well. It falls to Rashford, and Rashford finds the back of the net. It's good to see our strikers, both of them, finding the back of the net. Two guys I can kind of rely on is something I really need. I mean, at least one. Like, give me one that I can rely on, and I can win a lot of games. We're so good defensively that, one striker performing is usually the minimum of what we need. As Sterling just runs right past two players, you dive in and can't get to it, but De Gea makes the save from, again, an impossible angle. Pogba's not had a good game. He's on a yellow and he's tired. So I'm gonna bring on Donny. I'm not gonna give Hannibal the time because they could still come back. There's still a lot of game left. They've been pretty even. Like, they don't have a whole lot less shots or anything than us. Their XG's quite a bit lower, but I don't think we can take it easy on Man City. We need to really go for it. Make sure that we stay focused. As I tell them to focus. Kimmich is coming off because he has been absolutely awful. Probably going to yell at him after this match for being awful. Because you can't just put in a 6.4 in a cup final. You can't do that. Bruno Fernandes is showing what you should be doing, putting in a 7.5. Wan-Bissaka actually has the best rating of all players. He's been good. I don't know, like, his attributes don't look amazing. Obviously, defensively they do. But offensively, they don't look amazing, but he just performs. Sometimes players are just like that. They might not have the best attributes, but they just perform on the day. As Lautaro scores another goal. I thought it said Lozano, but it is Lautaro Martinez. And it is 3-2. I said they weren't out of this game, and they are right back in it. I'm going to be more disciplined, waste time. I'm going to play our game still, but I'm not going to try to retain possession because I don't think we can do that against Man City. I'm going to go cautious. I'm going to change something up. I don't know what I'm going to do. I want to take off a striker for a midfielder, probably. We don't need two strikers up top. One of them can harass the back line just fine, and we need more presence in midfield, I think. Just to provide a wall ahead of our center backs. Preferably, I'd like to move one of them to defensive midfielder, but we don't really have a defensive midfielder left on the bench. I guess we got McTominay. Yeah, let's do that. Let's take off. Who's been worse? Holland's actually been worse. So I'm going to take off Holland. Move to a 2 defensive midfielder, 2 central midfielder formation. Bring on Scott McTominay. He can play as a defensive midfielder on support. That's fine. I'm going to play Van de Beek as a box-to-box midfielder. And I think I'm going to keep it like that. I might move them from complete wingbacks to just wingbacks on support. And I think those are the only changes I'm going to make. I'm going to go defensive. I'm not going to go very defensive, just defensive. Surely we can see this game out from here. With those changes. Tell them to focus again. Not the best game from us. Man City were pretty equal to us that game, but we found a way to get the win. That's what matters. We win the Manchester Derby in the EFL Cup, and we bring the trophy home for the second straight year. Harry Maguire will be lifting the trophy, and we are EFL Cup champions in back-to-back seasons. Great finish. It was step 1 on our way to completing the series. Now we just need an FA Cup, a Premier League, which is looking likely, and a Champions League. The FA Cup and the Champions League are not going to be easy. Obviously, after this game, we have an FA Cup match, which I will not be showing, but because it's against Sheffield Wednesday, we should be able to get through that tie pretty easily. I'll play Moukoko and Greenwood, play the youngsters that have potential, that are still good enough players to beat that kind of team. Like, Moukoko would be the best player on Sheffield Wednesday's team by a large margin. So, he should be good enough to get us through that tie. I'm going to say congratulations. Enjoy these moments. You deserve it. Congratulations, Ryan. How pleased are you to win the EFL Cup? I'm pleased. So many people have played a big role in getting to this point, and they deserve these moments. Bruno Fernandes' strike gave you an early lead there. Did you think it would be a good day for your side when you saw that one go in? An early goal is always a bonus, and it helped us on our way. Good result. I'm glad to win the EFL Cup again. I would have hated to be out of contention for winning, finishing this series after the first half of the season. I guess it's more than a half, 3/4 of the season. So we're still in with the chance to complete our goal, which is to win every single trophy in England and the Champions League. We've got a hard test in front of us, but I think we can do it. Maybe this season, maybe we need a little bit more strengthening. I don't know where we would need to strengthen if we had to bring in alternatives, like maybe a deep line playmaker that actually performs. De Gea's great at goalkeeper. Maybe a third center back because, well, I mean, even Skriniar's not been good. He's supposed to be our best center back. By star rating, he's our best, but I think it's the central position, though. I don't think it's Skriniar. I think it's this position just does not perform. The central center back in a back three just does not perform. I don't know why, but it just doesn't. So I'm not going to... I think having a 6.9 average in this position is actually good. Like, I don't think he's playing badly. I think it's the position. So I think 6.9 is a good rating for that position. Maguire has been decent this season, but he's been inconsistent. Like, he's in a bad form right now. Like, again, he only had a 6.6 that game. He hasn't had a 6.9 or above in the past 4 games he's been a part of. Even then, the last time he had a rating above 6.9 was against Barnsley in January 21st, so over a month ago. So we don't have a third center back that's really consistent for us. Like, McTominay's decent now and then. Tuanzebe's decent now and then, but he's in bad form right now. Lindelof just kind of sucks, so he's not going to get much game time. I don't know. Our right backs are good. Defensive midfielders should be good. Between Kimmich and Camavinga, one of them should be good. Left back, we're good. Midfielder, we're great. Striker, I think we've got so many good options that we should be fine there. So, yeah, I think we can do it this season. I have faith. But next we have Sheffield Wednesday. Then we've got, I think, Aston Villa. Yeah, and then we have Dortmund. So I'll see you for the Dortmund match. I'll play these few games in between. I'll see you in just a few moments. And we are back for the Dortmund match in the second leg of the first knockout round. We had 2 games in between. The FA Cup 5th round, which we beat Sheffield Wednesday 4-0. A very good game. Greenwood and Moukoko both with a brace. Moukoko should have had a hat trick, but he missed a penalty. We are so bad at penalties. Like, we're decent at penalty shootouts, but just in regular games, we are so bad at penalties. If Bruno isn't taking them, and sometimes even if he is taking them, we're probably going to miss. I don't understand. Then we played Aston Villa, and we weren't very good. We beat them 1-0. We deserved the victory, but we just weren't that good. I mean, Aston Villa were in really good form, so it's not too bad of a result. Obviously, since then, they lost to RB Leipzig, but before that, they lost to Chelsea, but they beat Liverpool, beat Tottenham, beat Bournemouth, drew with West Ham, beat Norwich. They had a terrible stretch before, but they were on a decent run of form. They were 5th in the form table, so a good playing Aston Villa, who beat some good teams. To beat them is a good accomplishment. Now we've got Dortmund. We did get the FA Cup draw for the next round for the quarterfinal, and of course we got the hardest draw physically possible, Man City, but at least it is at home, so we have the home advantage, and we were very good at home against Man City the last time we played them, so I think we can do well in this result, really. I think they're not in very good form. They lost 3 games in a row after losing to us. Since then, they beat Brentford 5-2 in the FA Cup and only drawn with Burnley, though. So they have Benfica in the first knockout round. They've got Leeds, and those should be easy wins. Definitely a Crystal Palace one, but Leeds should be an easy win, too. So they'll be in decent form when they play us, but hopefully we will, too. We've got Norwich and Wolves. Wolves are 16th. Norwich are 17th, so we don't have the hardest games in between either, so let's go into Dortmund, though. This is the squad I'm going with. I'm bringing in McTominay for this game. He's been the best formed center back in this team, so I can't not give him the game time. Most of those have been against weaker teams, but I'm going to trust him. Harry Maguire hasn't been anything special. Tuanzebe has not been anything special, so I'm actually going to put Tuanzebe on the bench, I think. He's had 2 pretty good performances in a row. Maguire has also, but he actually has a third performance that was pretty good too. He just has one really bad one in there. Maguire hasn't had any terrible performances. 6.6, 6.8, 6.6. So I'm going to go Tuanzebe though on the bench. Wan-Bissaka keeps his place at right back. He's just been in such good form. I can't sit him. Kimmich had a pretty decent game last game out. He was on like a 7.3, and then he just consistently went down by 0.1 every 10 minutes until he was down to like a 6.9. Yeah, but it's still better than recent performances, and he really wants game time, so I'm going to give it to him. Fernandez, Pogba, Mukoko, and Haaland are starting up top. The former Dortmund duo will be starting for us, and it's not like I'm doing it just because they're former Dortmund players. Mukoko's literally been in the best form of any striker in the team. So he kind of deserves the game time. And Haaland, he's a player I can't really bench, even though he's in not very good form. He's just so good you can't bench him. He's going to turn up at any game. Like, anytime he's going to turn up and just destroy the opposition. And I can't sit him. This is what the bench looks like, too. Got some strong pieces on the bench. Van de Beek, Camavinga, Telles, Dodo, who just got a new contract, or he's getting ready to sign a new contract. He came to me whining about not being on enough money, so I was like, okay. Thinking, like, he's on 60,000. So I think he'd be like, okay, take 100. No, he wanted triple the wages. He wanted 100, oh no, he wanted 200 grand. So I was like, okay, I'll give you 130. And he cried and said no. Then he came back to me saying, oh, you didn't give me a new contract. So I was like, okay, I'll reopen negotiations. Then he wanted quadruple his wages. He wanted $250,000 a week. No! I ended up settling on 175. More than I wanted to give him, but I don't want to lose him, and I don't want him to be upset. I want him to be in good morale, because he's a very valuable piece to us. If Wan-Bissaka goes off form, he's going to be the man that goes in, so he should be our best right back, I think, but Wan-Bissaka is playing like our best right now, but so that's what's going on in the team. Greenwood wins his spot on the bench. He's been the best performing backup, or second best performing striker so far the last couple games. I gave him and Rashford the last game to decide who was going to be on the bench. Rashford was awful. Greenwood was good. He scored a goal, so Greenwood makes the bench. Let's get into this game. We have a 2-0 advantage, so we should be all right to be able to get through this. This is the home leg, so 2 away goals. They didn't score a single goal at home. The first leg means nothing now. This is a brand new match. We've got to make sure we win it. Kimmich, I have faith. Doesn't respond. Both teams come into this one in good form. How do you rate your chances ahead of kickoff? Going to have to be at our very best to get something today. Dortmund are as good as they come and will certainly be able to cause us 1 or 2 problems. We look to attack here. My primary focus is to make sure we keep things tight at our own end. I'm going to go with the more defensive tactic. There's no reason to go gung-ho and go with the attacking tactic. We don't need to score goals. We just need to not concede goals. So as long as we can do that, I think we'll be fine. They've got Emre Can in midfield, so they've got a little bit more strength in the midfield this game. That was my one criticism of them last game, is they had Reina and Jude Bellingham at central midfield. And I just don't think those two can be a double pivot in a 4-2-3-1. But they've got Chan this time. They've got a more physical player in there, so that shouldn't be an issue for them this game. But I hope we can still get the victory. I'd be okay with a draw, but I want a victory just to keep our good form going. We start here with Kimmich on the ball. Back to Skriniar. Who is that? Is that Jesus is really pressing their back line, but we're able to get the ball out. Kimmich, who gets ball intercepted by Reina. Not very good by Joshua Kimmich. That's not something you see very often with him. He usually is pretty composed on the ball as they go through, but De Gea makes a good save. Reina with a bad finish. Hit it right at De Gea. Pogba suffered a bruised thigh, but he should be all right. He hasn't lost any fitness for it, so shouldn't be a problem with him. It's only a bruise. I'm not going to replace him. Definitely not with Camavinga. I don't know why you suggest him as a Mizala. It looks like it's been all Dortmund so far. They're on the attack for the second time. Ball gets intercepted by Theo Hernandez into Haaland, who takes a good first touch, gets passes a defender, and a terrible shot. Absolutely terrible. You would expect better from Haaland. At least get that on target. That was an awful shot, but we have not been good. We have not done anything. I'm used to seeing much better from us at home. As Haaland goes through on goal, and Haaland's gonna what? He had rounded the keeper. All he had to do was put it in an empty net, and he hit it directly to the keeper. Haaland, what is wrong with this? Something's in his head, because he scores that 10 times out of 10. I don't know how he didn't score that goal. Like, that was a Haaland goal every single time. Except that one time. That is 1 out of 1,000 that he probably doesn't score. That was ridiculous. I still can't believe that. I still can't believe he missed that shot. That had to be a goal, as they look to score, but Jesus heads it over. We have been so bad. 6 shots, only 2 of them on target. I'm going to thrash my arms at this team at halftime. I'm far from pleased. I know we don't need a goal, but I'd like one. I'd like us to show that we can actually play the game. We've not been able to play football today. Bruno is the only player that has shown up, like he always does. 8 shots, 2 on target. We have the XG advantage, but barely. I want to berate this team. They've not been good enough. A terrible performance. Absolutely terrible. Luckily, we don't need to score a goal, because if we did, we would be screwed. Mukoko's had an awful game. He's been in good form, but he has had a complete shocker. I mean, we don't need the goal, so I'm not going to take him off. I'm going to give him a chance to see if he can figure it out. I'm going to take off Bruno. He's on a yellow, and he's injured. Or not injured, he's tired. I'm going to take a risk and bring on Hannibal. I want to get him match sharpness. I think we should be okay. I don't think we're going to concede 2 goals. Famous last words. Kimmich has also had a shocker, a 6.3. Absolutely horrific. He's going to come off. Skriniar's been awful. Mukoko's down to a 6. Good lord. Pogba's tired and on a yellow. I'll take him off. Bring on Donnie. Hopefully you just see this game out. Tell the team to focus. They've gone to a 4-3-1-2. I don't know why, but I guess they want 2 strikers up top. It's not going to be enough. They're not going to score. And we're going to win over the 2 legs, even though we're less than impressive this leg. I expect so much better from us at home. We've been so good at home this season that this is the worst game we've probably played at home all season long. And it's not like Dortmund are some superstar team. They're decent, but they're not winning the Bundesliga. Like Bayern, I'm pretty sure, are still winning the Bundesliga, so that is not good enough. I'm going to thrash my arms, say we have won, but I'm still unhappy with your performance tonight, especially Joshua Kimmich. Your terrible performance like that will always get you substituted. He has been so bad. So bad. Paul Pogba picked up another yellow card today, taking his tally to 16 for the season. Does that record concern you? Paul can sometimes get carried away, but he's working hard to correct that. Why did you persist with Yusufa Moukoko when it was clear for all to see, particularly the fans, that he wasn't up to it today? I make the decisions. It's that simple. We didn't need to take him off. We didn't need a goal. If we needed a goal, I would have taken him off like at the 40th minute, because he was awful. But we didn't need it, so I didn't feel the need to take him off. I wanted to make changes elsewhere. We get through. I slam the team, but we are through to the next round of the Champions League. The quarterfinal will be coming up in April. We'll probably be coming back for Chelsea in that second leg of the quarterfinal. I'm going to skip the Man City match. I'm not going to show it because we've already played Man City twice in the last 2 episodes. I don't want to play Man City a 3rd time, so hopefully we can win that off camera. But I'll be back for Chelsea and whoever we get in the Champions League quarterfinal. If you've made it this far, why don't you like the video, subscribe, and click the bell. The links to all my socials are also in the description. I really appreciate all your support. Thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you next time.